Okie dokie, we are back in Backpack Battles. Let's go and jump some ranked games with a random character and see what we're going to get today. And it looks like we are playing the Pyromancer. We do start off with a fire pit, but also something incredibly juicy with the box of riches, which means we're going to be getting a ton of gemstones, which is always exciting. So we want to start off by grabbing ourselves a wooden sword. Let's grab a flame so we get some extra life with our fire pit. Grab the big old banana, and we be even more greedy with a piggy bank. Maybe not. I'm going to roll. Now I'm going to take this to speed up our wooden sword as much as possible. Grab ourselves the garlic. We could go for turbo shillys as well, but I would like some damage. The turbo shilly could be a nice play. The only problem is we don't have any damage. I'm going to take you though. We probably should save our 2 golds and reserve this ladder bag. So are we going to be able to win our first rounds? I mean, we don't have a whole lot of damage. We do start off with a little bit more max life. We get a little bit of a heal. We're going to have our wooden sword deal about 1.8 DPS compared to that 2 DPS because they do have that whetstone. We're also going to get some max life, maybe with the twine. So we could be in trouble in that regards. However, we're still pretty healthy and we got ourselves a garlic, which will give us our tiny bit of block, which could be kind of nice. But who's going to be able to win out here? In this first round, so will the fatigue beat down our opponents faster? It's going to beat us down? Honestly, kind of looking like so. Whoever gets a miss is going to lose, and not bad. We do manage to win our first rounds. Hell yeah. And with that, we could take a rainbow badge and go for a crazy chaos run. But I do kind of like our setup the way it is right now, because I do want to be looking for as much gemstones as possible. And we could craft up a torch. We could also craft up a burning blade. We also got ourselves a flawed sapphire, which will inflict some cold. I think I'm going to go for the hero sword instead of the torch. The problem is, if I want to go for burning blade, we do need to find more whetstones. But I'm still going to rock on with this sort of situation. I'm going to keep this gemstone in, inflict some cold in our backpack, and get a little bit of healing. It might be better to place it on our wooden sword for that lifesteal. I do like having that little bit of increased speed, so we can deal a little bit more damage. But that lifesteal might be better. Maybe we are facing another Pyromancer. We do got that little bit of power, got a little bit of luck, increasing our accuracy. The stone badge is a little bit scary because we're going to be getting tons and tons of block with that garlic, and starting off with more max life with the amount of life could be super problematic for us. Just a lot of effective HP that we have to get through. We don't really have any scaling damage, and unfortunately we do end up losing out. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. So we do got some options right now. We could go slime time. Slime time with a falcon blade could be kind of nice actually. We could go for a bunch of chili gooberts. We could go for a bunch of chili gooberts. We could try to go for rainbow goobert, but chili gooberts to give us a bunch of heat with a falcon blade. That could be a lot of fun. We can go Nosh please into trying to inflict a bunch of cold at the same time. But I'm kind of leaning more towards going for that slime time action. Shielded, not the biggest fan of right now. We could go for a bunch of cold shields, but since we didn't take any early game shields, I'm leaning less towards the shielded right now. So I'm going to take slime time. Slime time, place it in here to get our little gooblings. We roll again, which means I don't necessarily really want to craft up a big old burning blade. But I still want to roll. Maybe I do want to grab ourselves a little wooden sword for a little bit more DPS overall. So I was thinking about moving on with something like this. So I'm going to craft up our gooberts. You know what? I'm going to craft up our gooberts. We probably do want to grab a bit of storage then, and yeah, we're going to be moving on. We're going to be speeding up our hero sword. I did take out our little topaz so we can keep our stamina up. Shouldn't be too much of a problem since we're going to have a hero sword with a little wooden sword. But at least we got a little bit more damage. A little bit more heals with our little gooblings. We still get our tiny bit of cooldown to opponents. They do got some power. They're going to be stacking up a lot of heals with the shell totem. But I would have liked to grab ourselves a tiny little green gemstone so we can inflict poison. That way we can get some skilling damage, even though it's only going to be a small bit. We could have went for stacking cold, but that's not going to matter too much, because in the grand scheme of things, we're probably going to end up stacking up less than 3 cold, maybe 4 cold, but after a long period of time. But we still managed to win out. So it's looking kind of nice for us. We get our big old gooberts. We could try to go for rainbow goobert. We're going to grab a bit of storage though. But I'm also looking at this undead phenomenon. This could be a lot of fun too. Should we take it or should we try to roll to try and find more gemstones? I think we're going to gamble a little bit. Amount of energy, maybe not that great for us because I'm not looking to refund a lot of both. But we can speed up our slime time just a little bit. Now do we waste our 1 gold rolling? Maybe not. Maybe not this time around. Still not going to craft up our steel goobert though. Still want to try to go for a falcon blade into a bunch of chili gooberts. I think that's going to be awesome, and then we get a bunch of gemstones and put them in a falcon blade. Hopefully we can stack up a bunch of big old sapphires that we can inflict cold. We'll also stack it heat too. Got a decent bit of heat though, decent bit of max life. We got some heals, we cleanse some debuffs, we get a tiny bit more lifesteal with our little red ruby. But our opponent does have a lot of vampirism. And unfortunately, with the stones, with the hero sword, they're just going to have a little bit more damage than us overall. Especially with the health bot. And unfortunately, we do end up losing now. It is what it is. That's a big old happy bomb again. We could try to go for second happy bomb type play. Maybe we should. But this time I'm going to take out a box riches. I'm not going to take happy bomb. I'm going to roll. Another tiny little goobling we're going to take. Big old Gooberts. I kind of want to take two, but I'm going to be looking for gloves. Now Hunger Blade is going to be a massive upgrade for us. If we're going to be honest. We're also going to take this too. We're going to sell our little wooden sword to roll again. And we got to take out our box riches again and we got to roll again. Now we could straight up just go for Blood Goobert and transfer everything into Blood Goobert instead. It kind of seems like this is the way we're going to have to go. Does it not? Which means we're going to take this bit of storage, which might mean we might not be going for Falcon Blade anymore. But it's going to have to do. Blood Goobert could be even more awesome for us. We do need some regen. We definitely need some green gemstones from our freaking box riches. But it's looking much better with a Hunger Blade. We should be able to deal a little bit more damage. We get a little bit more heals. Our Phoenix does resurrect, but we can still manage to win out. Not bad. We definitely had the advantage on that opponent. Now it is looking like we could still go for Falcon Blade. But do we want to just settle for Blood Gooberts? I think I'm going to go for Blood Gooberts. I'm going to sell 2 flames. I'm going to grab a bit of storage. And I'm going to sell 1 more flame to go ahead and grab this too. Now, are we going to go for Falcon Blade or do we want to keep ourselves our Hunger Blades? If anything, we can make these into Vampire Gloves. But I'm happy enough rocking on with this. So let's get our Vampire Gooberts. We could still have Rainbow Goobert on the cards. Because we still have our little hero sword. We're going to have Vampire Gooberts. We could be 2 Gooberts on the way there. But we should have taken more Gooberts if we're going to go for that. Now we are facing 2 axes. Berserker, they're going to go for that big old double axe. Luckily for us, they don't have that double axe just yet. So we should be able to just be able to win out. We have 125 max life of our opponent. Thanks to Blood Amulet along with a Fire Pit. We got tons and tons of heals. And we should be able to just beat them down. Now they're going to have some skilling damage with their axes. But the sheer amount of heals we're going to have is definitely going to be able to win out. And hell yeah. We got our next victory. And I kind of regret my decision. That's it, Chili Gooberts. Maybe we still want to go for... Maybe we could actually go for Rainbow Gooberts. 3 lives left. Just need our Gooberts. Let's take you. Let's take you too. Maybe take this out then as I roll. And we roll again. That's a Goobert. So I'm going to sell a little shiny shell and a flame to go ahead and grab it. Yeah, we're definitely going to craft up this Goobert. We're going to go for Chili Goobert next. Maybe we want to go for Steel Gooberts. Because Chili Gooberts... Chili could be kind of nice for us. But a Chili Goobert will stack up our heat. It's going to be kind of nice. We kind of still want to go for Falcon Blade if we don't end up going for Rainbow Goobert. So maybe we still go for Chili Goobert right now. But we should have some skilling heat right now, which will increase our damage because the faster we go, the much better we do have. And our opponent did have a lot of damage, but we just barely managed to squeak by. And right now we do get to choose our subclass. Then the question is, what subclass do we want to go for? I mean, if we want to get a bunch of Vampirism scaling, we take Burning Banner right now. If you want to go Infinite Heat Stacking, we take Friendly Fire. If we want to go Heat Stacking with a bunch of Chili Gooberts, Frozen Flame could be kind of nice because we could have inflicted a bunch of cold if we stack up a bunch of these sapphires, giving us crit chance and crit damage. So this is the kind of angle I was leaning towards. But since we settled for our Blood Gooberts, I'm thinking very strongly about taking Burning Banner right now. Yeah, I'm going to take Burning Banner. Place in the middle, we could also take the Unsettling Presence. It will use up our buffs, but give us 30% more for healing his damage. I mean, I definitely want to take this. I gotta take it. The problem is, I do need Solar Garlic and another flame. We're going to grab this one back because I do want to speed up our Unsettling Presence. I do want to craft this up as well. Add this in too. Add in a flame as well. And I'm going to be moving on with this sort of situation so we can craft up our Chili Gooberts. Burning Banner is going to be a nice little activator for the middle, along with our Slime Time. So we should be in a pretty good spot to activate both our Gooberts. Give us tons of heals. Once we get our Chili Goobert, we should be able to stack up heat. And we should be able to get our items going faster and faster. So honestly, not looking bad. And turning our healing into damage, which is also phenomenal. Now we do get a Falcon Blade if we do want to. But it will mean we're not going to be going for Rainbow Goobert anymore. I'm going to take it since it is on sale. If you want to keep your box of riches on. I mean, you do have 4 lives left. It means we do need to find 2 Gooberts along with a lightsaber. I'm going to try go for it. Maybe that's a bit of a misplay. That's one little goobling. We roll again. And we could take the Draconic Orb because it's going to be one slot activator for Gooberts. It also gives us crits if we stack up 15 heat, gets rid of spikes. It's kind of nice actually. Also, I'm going to keep this as maybe a potential that we can lean into Falcon Blade if we need to. Also, weapons might be better in the center because they activate a little bit faster than both our Burning Banner along with our Slime Time. I think I'm still going to take Draconic Orb though. I'm going to sell one of these flames to roll one once more. We could take the Holy Armor, but if we do end up taking the Holy Armor, it's just going to clog up a lot of space, so we just want to find Gooberts. So I don't think I'm going to take it. Also contemplating on taking this little chip sapphire so we can keep trying to stack up those big blue sapphires. Now maybe we should be rolling without our box of ridges in. I'm also looking for gemstones too. But our damage is going to be severely lacking if we don't have a Falcon Blade in. We're going to have lots and lots of vampirism, but that's a lot of poison on us. But can we win out? It's looking super close. Our opponent does resurrect, and that just gave him enough time to win out, unfortunately. So we do end up bleeding another life, which is not ideal. Now, should we go for something like double rainbow? We could also take time melting, which will just give us a bunch of heat from the get-go. It's kind of nice. We've no real effects. But starting off with 5 heat is going to be really, really awesome. We could also stack in a bunch of helmets. Yeah, I think I'm settling on time melting. And it's also Bloodthorn. That's also second Hunger Blade. It's also a Frostbite too. So a lot of options right now. I think I'm going to settle for a Hunger Blade right now though. Settle for the Hunger Blade. Maybe don't take a Wonky Snowman. Maybe take this out. And just roll. And it's a helmet, which I do want to grab. We're going to sell our box of riches right now. As much as I do want to keep it, it's having a damage reduction for such a long time is going to be super, super awesome for us overall. So we're going to sell this little blue sapphire, this too, and I do want to keep this to get some regen for us because we don't necessarily have too much regen. Let's go ahead and grab it. With that, we're going to venture on once again. So double Hunger Blades, which means we should be able to scale up our vampirism a lot faster. We should have lots and lots of heals. We're going to have lots and lots of heat. But is it going to be enough? Because our opponent is going to be moving a lot of our buffs and ends up taking up a crazy amount of our stamina, which is not ideal either. But it looks like we managed to recover. Dealing some big old damage right now. Much, much better. Definitely so. Now, Heart Container could be kind of nice because it is a holy item. Gives more regen. It's very, very slow, but in combining with Burning Banner, we can stack up a lot of regen. We can definitely stack up a lot of regen. Or we could try to roll and keep looking for Gooberts and helmets. Gooberts and helmets with some storage. That's a little Goobert that we probably want to craft up immediately. Here's some scaling damage, which would be kind of nice. Maneki would give us some sales. Being on sale for 5. Maybe should take it, but I'm not going to. Bloody Amulet. More vampirism. Vampire Gloves. Would be awesome, but I'm not going to take it. Mana Orb could be kind of nice too. But I think I'm going to settle for a little Burning Coal right now. Settle for a little Burning Coal. And let's just go and craft up this Goobert so we can get our Steel Goobert online. The only problem is Steel Goobert doesn't really settle into our build right now, which isn't going to be that fantastic for us. But who knows, maybe we'll make it work. Now our opponent does have Amethyst Steel with the Echo Battle Cry. They're going to be removing a lot of our spikes and power, but we don't stack up that. We stack up heat and vampirism. And it's a big old shield which will be eating up a lot of our stamina, but as long as we can keep hitting super fast, we can keep life stealing. And we can keep triggering items a lot faster, especially with our Unsettling Presence, which will deal some of our unhealing as damage too, but also keeps us healthy too. But is it going to be enough to win out? Because it's looking super, super close. And honestly, yeah, we do manage to win out. We're going to be getting our extra little Gooberts. And that's our Light Goobert. Maybe we want to go for Light Goobert instead. Yeah, we're going for Light Goobert instead. Let's roll again. Let's take this tiny little bit of storage. We roll and we've got to take this little Gooberts. We need to find one of these or a big old Gooberts. Now, if we had a Steel Goobert, this would be possibly the best setup we could have. Having our Steel Gooberts, and then having these slot in here. But since we're not going to have a Steel Goobert and we're going to be crafting up this Light Goobert instead, I think that's going to be a little bit more beneficial for us instead right now. And we can also inflict a little bit of blind too, and we can have this lasting a little bit longer. The only problem with our build right now is we're going to be competing our regen to inflict blinds as well as stacking up our vampirism, which is not super ideal either. So the thing is, I'm going to sell one gloves and I'm going to take a set of blue braids. I'm going to take a set of blue braids because we do want to be activating our chili gooberts or our blood gooberts, one or the other. We probably want our blood goobert instead of our chili gooberts because we will be able to stack up heat, but getting that vampirism probably going to be a little bit more beneficial for us overall. We still want our gooberts. We're going to be crafting up this light goobert. We're going to be moving on. we should be able to get lots of heals, and once we get a Light Goobert, we should be able to inflict a turbo amount of blind. Problem is our opponent does have a turbo amount of blind. They're going to be dealing lots and lots of damage. They got a crazy amount of heat. But can we bring it back? Right now? Definitely not. Just didn't look like we had any chance right then and there. We've got our Light Gooberts, which is going to be really, really awesome. Let's take our little Gooberts. Let's roll. And all we need to find is one little Gooberts or big old Gooberts. Take a tiny bit more storage. And here we go. Are we going to have enough time to craft this up? Also, Monkey Snowman. We're going to craft up this Gooberts. We do need to survive this round, the next round, and one more round. So 3 rounds. We've only got 2 lives. This is where things are going to get a bit dicey. I also want to craft up a Frostbite because you're going to deal a lot more damage. But I'm thinking about moving on with this sort of situation. So we have our Hunger Blades being perfect for our Light Goobert along with our Blood Gooberts. We're going to have you in as well. We should be able to stack up a lot of blinds. Again, we just need to survive for that a little bit longer. But is it really going to be enough? We'll see. Can we win this round? Because our opponent is going to be inflicting a lot of poison on us. More poison we do end up stacking up on us. We're going to take a lot more damage from this Dark Saber. But we do got a lot of blind on him right now. Decrease Narc speed quite a bit, but they do cleanse quite a bit with the Lantern Berry. And it's looking kind of awesome for us. Hell yeah. We should be able to get a Goobert online. And we just need to survive. Craft this up and then craft it up again. But is it still going to be too late? Let's go ahead and grab this too. Armored Life. Actually phenomenal. It's going to give us a lot of heals. Let's take you 2. Looking at this Chili Pepper. Stack up a heal a little bit more, but I'm not going to take it. And I'm wondering, should we take a Prismatic Orb so we can stack up a lot of Vampirism from the get-go? Also, just take a second Draconic Orb. Again, 1 slot item. And will give us a ton of damage. And also just utility by removing spikes. So we take a lot less damage also. I'm also thinking about putting a little Goobert down below in this spot. Mainly because we can add this in eventually in this position. It's going to be a lot of stamina though. Are we going to end up losing because of it? Maybe we will. We're going to set our gloves. I'm going to take this Draconic Orb. I'm going to place it in like so too. Take an extra flame. And are we going to risk it this way? We should have lots and lots of heals. We should be able to stack up a heat. We should be able to get everything that we ever dreamed of. And more. The only problem is stamina could be a bit of an issue. But we do have a little bit of stamina with our regular Topaz along with our Banana. So we'll see how we get on with this. Now our opponents does have a lot of blind on them. They do stack up a little bit of luck. They got tons of power. But that's 23 blind onto our opponents. And this is looking phenomenal actually. If we do win this round, we should be able to guarantee that we get ourselves Rainbow Goobert. And they're bringing it back. We could be in trouble actually. Because that blind is wearing off and hell yeah. That's it. We do get to our 10th victory with our Gooberts. We do have about a 40 DPS, which is not too bad in terms of heals. We do have about 60 healing per second with only 35 max health gained and 0 block. But let's try to get this Rainbow Goobert. We got 4 more rounds to go and we should be able to guarantee that we get our Rainbow Goobert by surviving this round. That's going to be awesome. Definitely did not expect to be playing a Rainbow Goobert run today. So with Rainbow Goobert, we're going to be stacking up Vampirism, Heat, we're going to be healing, we're going to be getting block, inflicting blinds. It's all going to be really, really awesome. So wondering, do we want to craft up another Frostbite since we're going to be stacking up Vampirism? Do we want to go ahead and grab ourselves a Lightsaber so we can inflict more blinds? Do we want to grab ourselves a Jin's Lamp because you're going to be super fast activator? I think we do want to grab it along with our tiny little Goobling. We also want this too. And Stellar Flame to go to grab our little Goobling too. But now we do need to sort our inventory out so we can craft up this Chili Goobert into a Rainbow Goobert. So I was thinking about leaning on with something like this so we can have our time melting in this spot. We should be able to have our Light Goobert being targeted by our Burning Banner so we can stack up that blinds. Chili Goobert going to be in the center, going to be targeting on these items specifically, being our Draconic Orb with Unseen Presence along with our Frostbite. The only problem is these are going to be linked together, which is not ideal. Also, you're going to be linked together. We could have also moved you slightly up and have you place it in a little bit more differently. But I think for this round, we're probably going to have to keep it this way. So we should be able to get our Blood Goobert activating pretty darn decently fast, along with our Steel Goobert scaling up the damage on both our weapons. Also flicking out blinds and stacking over heat, so I think this is genuinely going to be our best setup. Well, let's go ahead and get this Rainbow Goobert online. I do have a Prismatic Orb in here, which is not the most ideal spot because we want to beside both our Hunger Blades so we get even more Vampirism. But it's going to be a big potion explosion type build. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to survive this. It's going to be a lot of poison and these are going to have big old crits. And we're going to have the potential to be one shot once we drop them below half HP or less actually. But again, we didn't expect to win that one either way. But we got our Rainbow Goobert online, which is going to be phenomenal. That's actually going to be insane. So right now, all we want is tons of helmets. Tons of helmets so we can get crazy amounts of damage reduction for such a long time. Rainbow Goobert going to be the center of our builds. We're going to be speeding up our frostbites. I have inside some fanny packs. We're going to be able to start off with 3 vampirism, along with some mana, with some increased healing efficiency as well. The only problem is we can't have our burning banner target both our Rainbow Gooberts without taking up 2 slots. So think about having it placed outside for now. Jin's Lamp though I do want to take. I definitely want to take Jin's Lamp, and I really do want to add it in. I really do want to add it in as an activator for our Gooberts. Outside of that, it's not going to do a whole lot for us. We do get blocks, so if we stack up a lot of buffs, then maybe we can actually lamp if we want to. But I'm going to roll, we could take a Prismatic Orb or Prismatic Sword if you want that as well. Prismatic Sword could be kind of nice because you're also a Vampiric Holy item. But I think we just need our helmets so we can survive for such a long time. I think I'm happy enough with 2 Frostbites because you're going to be scaling up Vampirism for us. So I don't think I'm going to take it. I think I'm actually just going to roll. Another Jin's Lamp. Should we take it? It's a lot of gold. It is a super fast activator for our Rainbow Goobert stacking up buffs. That means we eventually can lamp as well, since we're going to be stacking up a lot more buffs. But we don't really stack up luck or spikes or mana consistently, so maybe not. I still think I'm just going to roll. Now, Phoenix could be kind of nice. Does resurrect us. More damage. Doesn't make use of a vampirism. I think I'm just going to waste more gold rolling, and I'm going to take a tiny little Goobert and I'm going to move on. But again, maybe should actually craft up that stone hammer. Yeah, that was probably something we should have done because we would have had that damage reduction for such a long time as well. We should be able to get a heat stacked up, we should be able to get a vampirism, we inflict a bunch of blinds, and it's not going to be close whatsoever. Holy moly, that's kind of insane. Is it not? Let's grab our little Gooblings, we roll again. More Monkey Snowmans to stop our opponent from scaling up max life. That I will gladly take also. That's what I'm looking for. Stop our opponent from scaling up, healing as well. I'm also wondering, should our little Gooberts be an activator for our Rainbow Goobert as well? Well, every time our Slime Time does activate, it is going to be 2 activations on each little tiny Goobling. So I think that's still going to be kind of nice. The only problem is, if we do want to grab this, we're going to need to sell 7 gold worth of items. Which means going to sell you, as well as a bunch of flames right now. Not the most ideal because I do want to keep our flames so we can get our heat from the get-go. Tiny bit of lifesteal I do want to keep. I'm going to sell 1 more flame, and we're definitely going to craft this up. Craft up this Capitus Comforts. So it should be some healing reductions. We stop our opponent from scaling up max life. We slow them down with frostbites. We stop them from healing for so much once we do get this crafted up as well. But also nullifying some of the buffs. But can we take on this Hard Shield adventure with a big old Dragonite? I mean, with 17 blinds, yeah, it's not going to be close whatsoever. Definitely awesome. This guy is crazy, crazy awesome. Again, is there anything else we really want? Not exactly. I will definitely take Snowballs. Let's go ahead and grab you, see what it's going to be. Arms of Darkness. We don't really affect. We don't deal effect damage. Who am I kidding? We don't sell presents. We deal a lot of effect damage. That's going to be kind of nice. We roll again. And that's a big old mana orb if you want to stack up a bunch of mana and try and get a big mana buff bomb so we can get a lamp with a Jin's Lamp. Since it's on sale for 3, I might as well grab it. My problem is I kind of want to place it in beside our weapons, but I don't necessarily really want to disrupt our Rainbow Goobert. Ideally, it will be awesome placed in here. But then we lose a slot in a Rainbow Goobert because you don't activate until you get 35 mana. But you could do something like this and have it set up like so. That way you can try to generate up as much mana as possible so we can get a big mana buff bomb so we can activate our lamp because this will help us stack up buffs. Maybe this might be more beneficial for us overall. It could also be slightly worse because we're going to be slowing down this frostbite just a little bit. We also lose a slot on our Rainbow Goobert. But I'm going to chance it. I'm going to chance it this way so we can try to get the most we can get of our mana orb to try and lamp our frostbite just a little bit. But that's it. Definitely did not expect to be playing a Rainbow Goobert at all. Was thinking we were going to go for a bunch of chili Gooberts with a Falcon Blade, stack up a lot of heat, go for some big old blue gemstones, inflict coals, maybe go for a CRYOMANCER angle. But Rainbow Goob, always a ton of fun. But is it really going to be enough to win out in our final round? We'll have to see. Can we end up, it's a Rainbow Goobert Showdown. Well, what a way to finish it. Can we beat this Rainbow Gooberts with our Rainbow Gooberts? The Berserker's Rainbow Goobert is going to be stacking up a lot of power, or just random buffs. Lots of vampirism, lots of buffs. They're going to be inflicting blind on us as well, but we also inflict a ton more blind since we do got our burning banner too. So we should be able to stack up infinite amounts of blinds. We get heat, so everything goes faster and faster. That means stacking heat is going to be insane for us. We also inflict a crazy amount of cold. And it's not close. This is not going to be close whatsoever. At all. We absolutely destroyed this other Rainbow Goobert. But I do think the Pyromancer's Rainbow Goobert is a little bit better. Now in terms of DPS, we did manage about a 77 DPS. Our opponent only had 5 DPS because it's a lot of blind. A lot of blind, which means they had 0% accuracy, so they were never hitting us. In terms of heals, we did end up with about 81 healing per second, with about 45 max health gained, but in terms of block, another 20 block on top of it per second. Also within 10 seconds, we didn't even get close to activating our mana orb, so yeah, maybe this was not the most ideal position that we could have had. However, we did survive with 2 lives left. Let's go see just how much rank points we managed to win out. Rainbow Goobert versus Rainbow Gooberts. We do rank back up to Masters once again, leaving us at 19. But anyways, I'm going to have to leave you here for now. I just want to say thanks for watching. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And I hope to keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, we're back into round 18 fights, and we're going to see how this Rainbow Goob can be able to win out. We are facing a Dark Saber, kind of a crazy adventure type builds. They're going to be inflicting a lot of debuffs on us, but we can stack up all our blinds. They're going to be inflicting poison on themselves. We're going to be slowing them down. And the Rainbow Goobert can just stack up that heat infinitely, so we can keep stacking up that blinds. And Burning Banner with the Rainbow Goob looking kind of awesome. Now, can we deal with a Falcon Blade on Healing Staff with a strong Divine Pot and a strong Vampiric Pot? They're going to be trying to get a bunch of lifesteal to deal a ton of damage on us, but if they can't hit us, they can't lifesteal, so they can't deal that damage, which should be nice for us. Now, we're going to be running out of stamina because we are facing shielded with double freaking shields, but we do have infinite heat, which means we're going to be using up a crazy amount of stamina anyway. But we do manage to win out still. And finally, can we deal with big old Busted Blade with 82% crit chance? I mean, if they get one big shot, we could be in trouble. Definitely could be in trouble. But that's if they get a bit of accuracy. And since they have 15 blind on them, it means they're going to have 0% accuracy, which means we should be safe to win out. Going up again, big old Busted Blade, and it's not going to be close.